the responsibilities I talked about, we took from the Part 3, Division 3, the general duties in our Workers' Compensation Act. So we talked about those as duties and what a duty means as opposed to a responsibility, as opposed to accountability. And then due diligence, similarly, it kind of has two faces. We talked about being duly diligent proactively with foresight, and we also talked about what's more commonly understood with due diligence is the legal defense, which is evidence-based and is in hindsight after a negative occurrence. So we talked about that. And then the third piece was supervision. And more broadly then, we were able to talk about how these things combine in practice, both the forward-looking and the reverse onus of due diligence, and how that can really come together simply for supervisors in a way that I don't know has been traditionally understood. The importance of supervision, field-level supervision. Management can get some leadership workshops and things like that, and management of organizations can come to balance the leadership aspect of what they do with the management aspect, but it's something we don't often give to those in the field. And we know just through experience how critically important it is to have great contact at the field level. It's the traction, with the road. So applying these principles in a field-based way for supervisors, I think, hasn't been really common, but is incredibly important. And we have just a lot of simple ways to approach that topic now. Employees have the responsibility under the law to work safely and to comply with the employer's procedures. And to protect their safety and the safety of others around them. But that duty for workers is also offset by their fundamental rights, the right to refuse unsafe work, the right to participate in the safety program, and the right to know about hazards. And we like to reframe those rights as not something that should be practiced when they choose, but if we looked at those rights as responsibilities, the responsibility to refuse unsafe work is really the responsibility to stop and bring attention. That's the same as the right to participate in a healthy health and safety system, is that we require that feedback. Far too many workers, even for employers who don't really crack the whip for productivity, there's an innate sense that productivity reigns supreme, and they make trade-offs in the field. And what we're trying to do in a healthy health and safety system is say, you know what, it's all right, and we actually need you to come and tell us these things. It's not adversarial. It's not a refusal, like it's been portrayed in the past, but it's actually a really healthy sign of a functioning health and safety system. We know that to get better outcomes in the field for safety and other outcomes, we need to really understand the roles field supervisors are in. And one of the principles we talked about this morning was the efficiency thoroughness trade-off, where it's always a balance. And some cultures, for instance, military cultures, can seek to achieve both, but it's very difficult in most organizations. And what we see is folks in the field having to make these trade-off decisions. Unfortunately, we know it's human nature to kind of lead more towards efficiency than thoroughness, in the belief that other components of our system, other steps in the process will make sure that thoroughness is there, because people are driven towards efficiency. And it manifests in all kinds of subtle ways. So by shining a light on this and having a conversation about this, it's not a conversation that currently takes place in health and safety, because we talk about physical risks, not the risk of this balance of efficiency and thoroughness, or not the risk that comes from conflicting goals in the field. If there is one key component of our health and safety management systems that a supervisor can really use to create those good outcomes and to really fulfill his role, his or her role, it's toolbox talks. And how they're conducted, with what engagement, how alert they are to change, how humanistic they are. If in that toolbox talk you call out the competing goals we're about to face in this next piece of work, what you can use, supervisors can use that forum to do something in the military is referred to as the commander's intent. So in a regulation-based world, there needs to be a rule or a regulation or an instruction for everything. And that just starts to become impractical. But a good understanding of the leader's intent means that when somebody's out there faced with the work, they, in the absence of a specific instruction or rule, they can make a good call and keep the work on track. And that's the leader's intent, commander's intent. There's nothing better at creating that before work takes place than a toolbox meeting. And it's right there for us all along. It's embedded in our health and safety management systems. It's just a matter of utilizing it to its full potential.